What's going on, guys? My name is Renegade. Today we're here for Class Comparisons episode 11. Today we're going to be taking a look at Abyssal Angel versus Daemon class for farming. Before we get into the comparison, I'd like to take this opportunity to ask you guys for suggestions for future episodes of class comparisons. You can leave those in the comment section down below. While you're down there, if you could leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already, that'd be much appreciated. Also, if you guys are interested in being more involved in the community, you guys could join my Discord server. Just follow the link in the description and you'll be prompted to make an account. Just fill out the details and you're done. One more thing before we start the comparison, I'd like to mention what makes a farming class good at farming. I like to look at farming classes and see if they have two things right: efficiency and reliability. Efficiency tends to be attacking more than one monster at once in farming, so AoE is often a key aspect, and reliability just means I don't want to be dying or when I'm farming, or running out of mana either, as both of those things can slow you down. Now that that's over and done with, let's get into the comparison. Abyssal Angel's strengths lie in its consistency. While farming with Abyssal Angel, your mana and health levels are really an issue. Its heal ability is strong and has decent cooldown balance, especially with the haste buff from the third ability. The heal ability also buffs endurance, which essentially doubles your health for a short period of time. The auto attack hits 3 enemies, and the other abilities essentially buff this. A large portion of the damage from Abyssal Angel comes from its DOTs, which the auto attack applies, and then the auto attack buffs it as it keeps attacking. A small amount of the damage can also come from applying the first ability called Flight, and then applying the second ability called a Photic Overdrive, I believe. And it says moderately strong damage, but this is quite low, and I wouldn't recommend doing this, as what Flight does is it actually focuses your damage on a single target. The last ability essentially buffs your damage resistance and crit chance. And as I said before, Flight buffs your damage output, but it focuses your damage on a single target. The numbers in terms of hits, DOTs, crits, and HOTs are about 300 to 400 non-crit when using the auto attack, 1k roughly for the crits, and you get about 300 for a maxed out DOT, but it starts at about 50 and increases in increments of 50, and 300 for the HOT. The weaknesses of Abyssal Angel are fairly straightforward. The numbers in terms of raw hits are a bit low, and as a result the efficiency of the class could be better. If you're interested in seeing a more in-depth look at Abyssal Angel, you can take a look at my How Good Is episode. Other than that, we'll move on to the next class. So Daemon class's main strengths and weaknesses are, well, its strengths are its ability to hit more than one monster at once, obviously. In terms of its efficiency, it has 3 abilities that can hit more than one monster, and that's basically all of its attacking abilities except for its auto attack. Its first ability hits 3, its third ability hits 2, and its last ability hits 3. So you've got a good combination of AoE there. Its first ability does reasonable damage. It's about 1.2k non-crit, about sort of 300, 400 sort of non-crit. It applies a couple of effects. Mental Burn, it's a bit of a DOT sort of thing coming on here. It's kind of small. It's about 300. Actually, that's not too bad, to be honest, in terms of like DOTs compared to other classes, but it could be one of 2 DOTs. One of them is called Psychic Burn and one of them is called Mental Burn. Mental Burn deals less damage per tick but lasts 12 seconds, and Psychic Burn deals more damage per tick and only lasts 6 seconds. They don't stack, but you can have they're both applied on an enemy at once. So you can just spam this first ability. It doesn't consume much mana, it doesn't consume, it doesn't have much of a cooldown, so you can just spam it and you're good to go. Your target AoE ability, the third ability that I mentioned before, is it hits 2 foes, as I said. It deals about 2.2k crit, about 700 non-crit. It also reduces their damage output by 40% for 5 seconds. And your last ability, called Mind Blown, 30 mana, 25 seconds, deals solid psychic damage to up to 3 targets and increases your haste and crit chance by 30% for 10 seconds. So you kind of want to apply this before you start attacking everything else. And it really does deal high damage. It's about 4k crit, about 1.2k non-crit. So you get a very, very large amount of damage there. Good for low health farming. Your heal in this class is called Mass Effect. This can apply one of 6 effects to you, I believe. 2 of them are kind of negative in a way, but most of them are like little HOTs or whatever. It also heals 3 other people, but that's not really what farming's about, kind of thing, to be honest. It's kind of a cool thing, but I'm not really going to count it for that much. Either way, it's about 700. It's about 700 healing, and it's about 2.2k crit, so it's quite good. 12 second cooldown, 25 mana consumption there. And so, like I said, often it applies an HOT. overall a pretty good class. The mana consumption is kind of high, so you do have to be a little bit careful about that. So you kind of have to be sparing with that heal. Sometimes you might be run out of mana or whatever, and you might need that heal, but often you'll one-hit monsters before you even need to heal or whatever, so it's kind of really, really good. And all the other effects that everything applies makes the class for a very, very good farming class. We'll now get into the final comparison. So my final verdict for this comparison is going to have to be DAIMON as being superior to Abyssal Angel for farming. Now there are a couple of reasons for this. One, Abyssal Angel deals higher damage, it's just got a better damage output overall. I might have to give the edge to Abyssal Angel in terms of the heal, but no, the overall edge goes to DAIMON class. DAIMON class has better damage output, arguably better cooldowns and everything. It's kind of very different classes, but you know, DAIMON is kind of just objectively better. The numbers that it deals are just higher. It just is just a higher damage output, you know. DAIMON perhaps has a lesser mana. Well, okay, DAIMON is just as consistent in terms of damage output. You know, like that massive damage output is really going to help you. But in terms of its reliability, DAIMON isn't too good because of its too good compared to Abyssal Angel because of its the way its heal works, and also the way its mana consumption is. Whereas Abyssal Angel is very much the polar opposite of that. Abyssal Angel is very, very good in terms of like the ability to, you know, tank all the damage with the endurance buff and heal quite well with its HOT. Everything is quite good with Abyssal Angel in terms of reliability. But no, the edge goes to DAIMON class here. If you disagree with me, if you want to leave any comments on what I've said about the two classes, you can leave those in the description down below. Thanks for watching, everyone. Leave a like if you haven't already. Subscribe if you haven't already. This is a weekly series every Sunday. This will come out. I've changed it from Saturday to Sunday. And other than that, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.